Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I am here with my weekly WIP and Chat. If you are new or just aren't sure what that means, well, WIP stands for Work in Progress. It could just be a project that you're working on. And Chat just means that we're just gonna spend some time chatting and catching up today. So a lot of people will treat this like a podcast. You can have it on in the background while you're working on a project of your own or getting, chores done around the house or something like that. Or you're welcome to watch too, whatever works for you. But yeah, just looking forward to catching up with you as always. I am technically going to be kitting up and not like technically whipping. I'm not going to be working on a diamond painting today unless we just breeze right through the actual kitting up of this project. But I know you guys, many of you seem to enjoy when we do these kit up videos, so hopefully you don't mind that the timing really just worked out for me to be kitting up this project with you today. So what I'm going to be kitting up is my next project. It's called The Universe in a Jar. It's by Randall Spangler and is from Diamond Art Club. And this is going to be my dragon kit for the month of August. I just had this goal where I wanted to work on a dragon kit each month throughout the year of 2024. I almost said 2020. No, please no. Let's not go back to 2020. I'll tell you why I said 2020 in a moment though, but throughout 2024, which is the year of the dragon and kind of the Lunar New Year, I love all things dragons and thought it would be really fun to get through some of the diamond paintings with dragons and them in my stash. And this is one I knew I wanted to try to get to this year. Now, the reason I said 2020 initially is because excuse me, I'm about to yawn. My bad. I'm so sorry. So impolite. I bought this kit in summer of 2020 from Diamond Art Club. It was my first kind of rainy day kit, which I've talked a lot about rainy day kits here on my channel before. Rainy day kits, it's just a term I came up with to describe kits in my stash that I am sort of holding on to for a rainy day, for lack of a better term. And it's kits that, maybe have a special meaning to me, or I just have some kind of attachment to for whatever reason. And so I save and savor them. And this is one that, I think from day one was kind of I really want to make it special when I work on this one. And, here we are 4 years later. So given that this was purchased in 2020, it's fun. There's some features that were just kind of went with these older Diamond Art Club kits. So for example, these are actually not pre-cut sticker labels. It is still a sticker sheet, but it's not pre-cut, so we'll have to cut those out. And then this, I don't really recall being a regular thing with canvases even around that time, but when I pulled it out of the box, it was rolled with the image side out, and I don't remember that really being a thing. I'm really intrigued to maybe get into some of my older kits. This was still sealed. I hadn't even unboxed it on my channel before, so I know that it wasn't like me that took it out and then put it back in and rolled up this way. But that was so unusual in my mind. It was like, I don't know if I've ever unboxed a Diamond Art Club kit that's been rolled with the image side out, but it's a good size. It's 56 by 64 centimeters. And I pulled it out earlier today. I did look at the canvas just to go, okay, how much confetti is in this project? It is pretty confetti heavy. There's quite a lot of confetti, but I think it's gonna look really good. Like even back here, this night sky and everything is just, oh my goodness. Okay, gotta perk up. Come on, Katie, get it together. There's also confetti back here. I didn't sleep well at all last night, so that's part of the reason I'm yawning, but still, I am so sorry. So this will maybe take a little bit longer, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then we have our diamonds. Even the diamonds are slightly different. Like this I've worked with before. Just the way that the numbers are printed and stuff. We'll see. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna start cutting these apart. How I usually do my kitting up when they come in strands like this, especially when they're not in DMC order, which Diamond Art Club doesn't put their drills in DMC order. They put them rather more in order of weight. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna cut these individually off and kind of group them. I usually group them by hundreds, and then I will put them in DMC order in my storage container. I'm going to be using Elizabeth Ward storage containers for this project. It's got 50 colors, and Elizabeth Ward's are my go-to. So let me move that to sort these, and there'll be a little bit of plastic sound till we get through these. But anyway, hi you guys, how are you doing? today, let's say this weekend. It's currently Sunday evening, which is when I am always usually filming my WIP and Chats. I don't remember the last time I filmed a WIP and Chat that was not on a Sunday evening. It works really well for me. It's after my kids go to bed and I'm just winding down the weekend, getting ready to switch into a new week. And I just get to hang out with you guys, kind of debrief, catch up, and yeah. So there has been a lot, I feel like, that's been going on. It's been a really busy couple of weeks. Last week I didn't even really do kind of my traditional catch up with you guys because my mom was in town, which, by the way, thank you. You guys are just the absolute sweetest. My mom, if you missed last week's WIP and Chat, feel free to go and watch it. My mom actually joined me for that one. She started diamond painting a few months ago and is really, really loving the craft. And I had asked you guys if you would be interested in seeing her join me for a WIP and Chat where she could answer some of the diamond painting tag questions I'd been going through for the past few weeks. And I really appreciate you guys were all about it. And so she joined me and got to answer those questions from the perspective of a newer diamond painter. And can I just say that your comments absolutely made both hers and my day. You're so incredibly kind and welcoming. Those are the same color. Whoops, that's okay. And I just really appreciate that a lot. There's a lot of content creators that will say that they have the best subscribers, and I might argue with them because I just feel like I have an incredibly sweet, kind, and thoughtful and very genuine set of subscribers and you guys. So thank you for being so warm and welcoming. I really appreciate it. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of you commented, you're like, oh my gosh, like it's sweet to see your relationship and everything. And yeah, no, I love her a lot. So that was fun. I'll have to have her on again when she's out visiting. The next time she'll be out here will be in October. I'll be in the midst of drills and chills. She's already got a couple of different kits picked out and planned for drills and chills. I'm not sure which one she'll travel with when she comes out, but maybe I'll grab like some Halloween or like fall tag questions to do with her. Or if you guys have any requests, you'll have to let me know. But it's been fun. The past few weeks, I think almost the past month at this point, I have been working really hard and almost exclusively on my cross-stitch conversion project. Just an update on that. I finished the 6th panel of that project, and I finished it yesterday. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I just want to say I'm really proud of myself for making some really nice progress on that kit the past several weeks, the past month, I feel like in particular, where sometimes it felt like it would take me 6 months just to get through one panel. I don't know what happened here the past month, but I was on a mission. I really wanted to make some good headway on that project. I don't know if it's because I know there goes my cat losing his mind. If you're a cat person, you know how it goes, especially when they finish their business in the litter box, and it's like there's some kind of instinctual reason cats do this. And then when they go out, they tear out of there like a bat out of where, and they go tearing up in his case, tearing up the stairs like he's just running away like something's chasing him. But okay. Make sure I don't have this totally disorganized. Okay. Close enough. Let me open this up and make sure I have a backup set of Elizabeth Ward storage containers here. At this point, I'll be honest with you, these Elizabeth Ward containers, I have a mix of like the Elizabeth Ward brand, the store brands, like the ones that Michaels and Joann's carried, and the AliExpress knockoffs, and they just have all been freely intermixed with each other, so I don't even know which specific containers are from which brand. Let me just make some space here. I do a little bit of pre-organizing, and I didn't do that before I joined you guys today, but what was I talking about? Lost my train of thought. Oh, the cross-stitch conversion project. Yeah, so finished the 6th panel, which that project is broken into 8 panels. I know some of you, like, you might be like, yeah, Katie, you rehash this every single time you talk about this, but I do this because I don't know how many of you already know, so I don't want someone to be like, I don't know what you're talking about, I feel left out or confused. Basically, I'm taking this cross stitch pattern and turning it into a diamond painting by reading the pattern through the Pattern Keeper app specifically, so it's all digital, and I'm translating that into a diamond painting on a blank canvas. And the pattern that I chose is Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart from Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's just a very, very, very large scale project that it ends up being so large that I broke it into 8 panels, and each of the panels is about 35 by 95 centimeters, and it's extremely confetti heavy. It's quite pixelated, and I'm taking a lot of learnings from it is how I continuously describe it. So I feel like I'm learning a lot, largely learning what do I want to do differently next time. But yeah, I had found that it was a little bit, not to be dramatic, it was a little bit soul-sucking for a little while working on a couple of the past panels, but I had been starting to feel the itch that I wanted to work on it again, and then decided, okay, yes, let me go ahead and start the 5th panel, because I'd hit the halfway mark early this year and then hadn't touched it for almost 6 months, I think. And then I was in the mood to start it up again, and so I did, and I have been loving it. I have to be honest with you. If I didn't want to make sure that I was going to have time to work on this dragon kit before the end of the month, I think it's fair to say I would have gone ahead and started even the 7th panel. When I finished the 5th panel, I had thought, okay, I'm ready. I'm probably going to move on to something else. A couple weeks ago, I was kitting up a Jeremiah Kettner little snack size project with you all, and then I promptly decided no, I wanted to start working on the next panel, like cross stitch conversion instead. And yeah, less than 2 weeks later, I did finish it. And yeah, not soul sucking, which is good, but I really enjoyed the way that the 5th panel turned out, but the 6th panel is kind of a pixelated hot mess. I cannot dress that up. It's really not looking very good. So I'm going to move this a little bit because I want you to be able to see maybe more of the Elizabeth Ward container as I'm kitting up. Let me just move this over here. I'll pull it into frame as we get to those colors, but a little bit more of the Elizabeth Ward storage. Okay. So anyway, that's done. Yes, I am planning to try to do an update video on my cross-stitch conversion project soon, so you can see how that is looking. I have been really woefully behind on posting updates on my Instagram. I literally just posted an update a few days ago that was like, hey, so here's kind of a start photo for panel 5, but spoiler alert, this panel's already done, and I started on panel 6, so yeah. Anyway, we'll see how fast I get through the universe in a jar, this kit, and I really still may be tempted to go ahead and get a start on panel 7. But it's like, well, I have the energy and excitement for it. Why not take advantage? Because I don't know how long it's going to last and when it's going to go away and how long it's going to go away for. But it's been fun. I do have another cross-stitch conversion project that's going to be in the works soon. I actually just got in the materials for it, and I maybe this week we'll do an unboxing centered around that. It's a unique kind of cross-stitch conversion project. While I've done other cross-stitch conversion projects on my channel before, I haven't done one like this. So I'm excited to share that with you very soon. It taps into a different part of my brain, and I am really enjoying it. It'll be interesting to see, like, once I finish my epic project, Once Upon a Fairy Tale, if, you know, what I'll kind of want to add into the mix after that. But you know what? Let's just focus on eventually finishing that one, not get ahead of myself. I've had some videos go up the past couple weeks that I've been really excited about and have kind of at least been percolating on and had in the works too. So since at least the last time we did kind of a regular check-in, I did put up my logbook flip through video. That was a tiny bit spur of the moment. That's how it goes sometimes with my videos, where I'll be thinking about how I really want to do a particular video, but there's a couple things I need to do first, and it's kind of outside of sort of my usual structure and types of videos. I guess I have to be in the right frame of mind for it, and suddenly I was in the frame of mind for that one, so I quickly finished getting my logbook totally updated so I could do that flip through, and that was really fun. I had set out with a goal of, okay, I know that my logbook features X many diamond paintings, like 160 something. So I thought, okay, let's do the math here ahead of time and plan accordingly. I need to spend like 30 seconds or less per page, because even at that, this is still going to be over an hour, like well over an hour long video. And if I try to spend any more than that, like really do any kind of in-depth talking about any of these particular kits beyond that like 30-ish seconds mark, this video could be 2.5, 3 hours long. And while I imagine there's some people that are like, yeah, give me the like long form, like super, super long form videos, I'm here for it. I also thought, well, less than 2 hours really seemed like the way that I wanted to go about it. And so I think it ended up being an hour 25 or something. And even that I thought, I don't know how much people are going to enjoy this. But thank you to those of you that have watched it and shared your thoughts on it. And I know if you're like me, sometimes maybe it's like you start a video like that and then you like pause it because you have other stuff to do, and just you watch it in a number of different sittings. Like I've been doing that because I've been watching a lot of kind of really, really long form, like video essay type YouTube content lately. Like some of these videos are like 4 hours long, and I love it actually. But yeah, I don't actually sit and watch them in one sitting. There's no way. I have a nice little like list of my watch later or my video history that I go back to. But so there's that video, and then was that today? Yeah, it was today. I had my comparison video go up for where I was comparing a number of different mini kits. I will be really transparent with you. I was pretty nervous about putting that video up because I get a little bit nervous about putting up videos that are comparing different companies, because I feel like there can sometimes be a little bit of, I don't know, there can be some weirdness there. And I never want it to be like I'm pitting companies against each other, trying to say like, oh, this company is definitively better than the other, as much as maybe some of you would like if I were more definitive about that. But I'm more about there's something out there for everybody. And so my goal is just to be like, these are the differences, and then you decide what sounds like it's the best, like the number one thing for you. But I didn't know. I was like, are people gonna, react to this video feeling like I'm, I don't know, trying to say that one of these companies is the best, or that that I have like a weird agenda or something attached to it. This has no symbol in the middle of it. I just realized. You guys see that? There's no symbol in the middle of that light blue. I'm gonna grab the canvas because now I'm intrigued. I want to look at the legend, and I want to look at the canvas then to see what is there. Hold on a second. Let me grab the canvas. No, there's symbols on here that just there's nothing in the middle. It's just a blank symbol. Okay. It's not like a special drill or anything. That's just a square with no symbol. All right. I guess that's just maybe older Diamond Art Club kits for you. I was very intrigued. I was like, what even is this? But yeah, so it doesn't seem like anyone so far at least has had that reaction. I was happy with that one. That was one of those videos that I just thought, is this going to take me several times to get the wording right? And like, not that I try to be scripted by any means, but I sometimes struggle to feel like I'm sounding coherent or remembering to say things that I feel like I want to make sure that I mention. But I I think that one went, I think it went okay. And I love doing comparisons. I just like approaching them in a way that's like helpful and productive, I guess. So anyway, yeah, does that one need a bigger bag? I don't think so. Or a bigger container. So yeah, a couple of videos the past few weeks that I have had on the brain for a little while, and I'm happy to say that they're out there. they're made, they're uploaded, and they're out there. I have had a couple of days the past couple weeks that have been multiple videos in a day, today being one of them. And that's not a new normal that I'm going to have. Someone actually commented on the second video that went up today and was like, 2 videos in one day. We're so lucky. And I was like, yeah, it's sometimes the mail works out that way. This is just, I cannot have it be my new norm by any stretch because, well, for one, like I have no idea what the platform would do algorithm-wise with that. And also I just do not have the margin to do that with regularity. But sometimes the mail, yeah, just works out that way. So I knew that I had that comparison video ready to go. My shipping information, the tracking for the mystery kit that was supposed to be a sneak peek that went up this past week, was showing that it was going to be arriving today, but it was shipping via OnTrack, and OnTrack I feel like is really not necessarily 100% reliable. I don't always know, like, is it actually going to arrive when they're saying it's going to arrive? So I thought, well, I don't want to count on that video for tomorrow. And also, like, obviously my kids are going to be around. I knew Adam had a project he was going to be leaving to work on this evening. So I didn't want to count on being able to put up that belated sneak peek today. But when it did arrive and I was able to film it, I thought, well, I would like this to be able to go up today because the kit's still in stock. It is, like, it just released yesterday, and I know people are hoping to see the canvas so they can, try to figure out what the artwork is. Yes, that's what happened today, but yeah, not gonna be the new norm if I can help it. And then I think that's kind of I'm just glancing at my notes because this is what I do. I have to, like, write down little notes because I have a really incredibly terrible memory. And so I have to write down things that I want to remember to touch on. Otherwise, I will just get to a point in these videos, these WIP and Chats in particular, where I'll sit there and be like, I knew that I had stuff I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember any of it. So yeah, it's been a good couple weeks as far as diamond painting goes and videos go. I loved getting to diamond paint with my mom. We got to do a lot more diamond painting than I was expecting. We were also very productive while she was here. It was really just incredible to have her here. We're kind of we're dealing with a lot right now, family-wise, and just some rough life stuff we're going through with Adam's, job situation and everything. And so I had been quite looking forward to having my mom here, just to have, like, that in-person support, both with just sort of helping with things around the house and with the kids, and also just to have her here. And it was so incredibly good for my soul, for my mental health. And I loved it there. Like, even just getting to sit and diamond paint together and talk for, bits here and there throughout the day in between us being productive and getting things done and taking the kids places and whatnot. It just was it was just such a good visit. It was such a good visit. I haven't done this in a while. I cried like the day or two leading up to her leaving to fly back to Ohio, and, like, really cried when we said goodbye at the airport. And, like, it's, yeah. So I do that. I get very emotional sometimes, but I haven't cried over her flying back in a while. And I just, yeah. She'll be back in October, and we're fine. Everything's fine. It was kind of it was like a relief to get to have her here for 2 weeks, and then the kind of letdown of her going back. But yeah, 35 and still cry saying goodbye to my mom sometimes. So there were a lot of, like, kind of little things that I wanted to get done. Things like, there was a rip in our couch because we have children and cats and spend a lot of time in our living room, and our kids are hard on our furniture, and so there's just been like a tear, and that couch is like 10 years old now. No, it's not. It's 7 or 8 years old. Anyway, it sees a ton of wear, and I had gotten this little like upholstery like repair kit that came with like really thick thread and these like curved needles. My mom stitched that up for me, which was wonderful, and she helped me with like tackling all the back to school shopping for the kids. They haven't started back yet. They go back next week, but we took care of that. Just a lot of stuff on my to-do list. It felt a lot more manageable having her here to do that with me. And yeah, so it was good. It was a different kind of visit too, because like when she visits when the kids are in school, we get to do a lot more like in the mornings while they're at school. We did still get to sneak away and do a couple of things like really stereotypical stuff. Like we went and got pedicures one morning. We went and got brunch at our favorite lunch spot. I could eat brunch for every single meal of the day. Yes, I know it's in part because there's usually like sweetness involved to it, French toast, crepes, that sort of thing. There's usually some sweetness involved, but also because there's something about brunch food that it's safe foods for me. It never ever bothers my digestion, and I feel like my list of safe foods that either don't trigger migraines or don't like mess with my stomach, like the older I get, the narrower that range of foods gets. And so I love brunch for multiple reasons, including that. But we got to do a couple of those things. And in past years, my mom's summer visit, because she comes out every few months, usually my dad comes out with her for the summer visit. And so this is the first year where they've switched, and my dad came out with her in May as opposed to July, August. So yeah, it was just a different kind of visit, but not in a bad way at all. We got to take the kids to the beach. There's a cove that we had gone to down in Newport that is like the way that it's kind of tucked away. There's not major like waves. Like it's still technically ocean, but there's not waves because it's a cove. And it's kind of like tucked back, like kind of like in inlets and stuff. And we had gone there once before for my sister-in-law's birthday, but we went again. We actually did end up meeting up with Adam's parents and sister and her kids there. They had mentioned that they were planning to go to there's movies on the beach, like was it Friday or Saturday night? The last time we had gone, it was just, they stayed and watched Back to the Future. I took Micah home because he wasn't going to be able to hang. He wouldn't sit for that long for a movie, and it was pretty late anyway. But last time was Back to the Future. This time it was Despicable Me, I think. And so they knew that, like, at least Connor would love that, along with, my sister-in-law's kids. But we went down early enough that we got to have dinner on the beach, and my kids have just turned into water babies. They absolutely loved it. They loved it. At one point, I look up, and Micah is on the paddleboard with my mother-in-law, and they're like way out, and I'm like, oh my goodness, because Micah doesn't really like know how to swim yet, but he was like, my mother-in-law was right there, so it was like, if anything, if he would have gone off the paddleboard, like she was right there. But he was perfectly well balanced, and he was living his best life. And more than once, the kids have asked to go back to this beach. It's a whole thing to get down there to park, especially if you don't want to like pay a bunch for parking. We would like street parking, you kind of have to walk a ways to get in. It's also just been really crowded because it's the end of summer, hurrah. And so it's like, we would love to go back, but we have to kind of like gear up for it and be ready for it. But I would like to go down there at least one more time before the kids actually do go back to school. But yeah, they just have been absolutely loving it. And we have just generally been spending a lot of time like outside and out and about, because the kids are in this kind of stretch of time in between their scheduled summer activities. Like Micah had summer school through the end of July, and Connor was doing some like VBS programs. And all that really wrapped up by the time August started. And so the kids have still they want to be, of course, like doing stuff, getting out of the house. So we've been spending a lot of time in our pool, And either that or at Chuck E. Cheese. We have us like the summer pass we had gotten at the beginning of the summer. My mom had actually gotten it for us. And it's like you go and you get so many credits. Like for the one level that we have, it's like 100 credits, which we split between the two kids' cards. It ends up shaking out to around an hour of gameplay, which is the perfect amount of time. And you can do that every day. And so every single day we've either been going to Chuck E. Cheese or our neighborhood's swimming pool, sometimes both. And we're having a great time. I think it's good for me to be more active in that way. It's good for me to be like spending some time outside. I've been like getting way more tan than I usually do in the summers because I don't usually spend this much time outside. We're doing tons of, sunscreen and everything, of course, but $7.96. This is one that there's multiples of. Yeah, $7.98, $7.97, $7.96. Okay. Those will need bigger containers, which is totally fine. Just think I could fit in a smaller container. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so it's been good for my mental health, which is still, I have a lot of ups and downs when it comes to my mental health still. There are some days that are a lot harder than others. In particular, like nights are really difficult for me. I don't know what it is. This was a thing when I was postpartum with both my kids is when this really started. I just remember being in that newborn phase, and I would dread, I would just start crying when it would start to get darker and it was leading up to the sun going down. At the time, it, I think, mostly had to do with not knowing how well my kids were going to sleep, and that unknown, how much am I going to sleep tonight because of the newborn phase. And I also that's when I really developed a lot of anxiety, was once I had kids and postpartum. And just even to this day, when I'm struggling mental health wise, I find that nights are the hardest. I don't know what it is. I've heard others say that they have similar experiences where there's just something about nights, evenings. I don't know if it's about it being dark outside or something with circadian rhythm. Or maybe just anticipation of sleep and how's sleep gonna go. Is it gonna go? Intrusive thoughts are always worse for me at night too. And yeah, so that has been tough for me lately. I just feel like some days I feel like I'm barely functional, even if I sound and present really I'm fine, I'm chipper. There's part of me that wonders when I put out videos, especially because I'm putting out 5 videos a week. Sometimes when I'm putting out those videos and I'm filming them in the evenings, sometimes it's I am struggling so hard right now, but I also, I don't know if it helps me focus my brain or if it's just hyper masking, thanks autism, that I am still able to power through it. But it's I don't know if people would even necessarily hear it in my voice. I hope not. I feel like I'm not wording this very well at all. But it's nope, we're just gonna get it done. Just gonna get it done. Where was I going with that? Nights are hard. And even if someone, I guess my point was just sort of, even if someone seems like they're just perfectly fine and they've got it all together, sometimes they really don't, and they're struggling. That's kind of been me lately. My doctor has been was on vacation for a couple weeks, and I am, I don't think I talked about this last time, because I think that I sent this message and got this response. I think this was after my WIP and Chat 2 weeks ago, and I would not have brought this up in my WIP and Chat last week because we were doing the tag with my mom. Okay, so I had sent a message to my doctor finally, saying okay, like I'd like to talk about potentially making some kind of med change. What I have right now isn't working. I feel like I did when I was on nothing. Obviously I have these outside like life events going on that are perfectly reasonable explanation for why that is, but like I need something else, like something more or something. I just need something. So I had sent this message and I got a response the next day that was from the nurse practitioner. Look, I love nurse practitioners. My mom was a neonatal nurse practitioner for 30 plus years before she retired. All the love and respect for nurse practitioners in the world. And I don't even necessarily hold what happened against this nurse practitioner, but it did make me roll my eyes a little bit. So I had sent this message just saying, I'm struggling. Like, can I, it was through my patient portal. So it was going to my doctor, but she ended up being out of office. And so the nurse practitioner was reading and responding to her messages, which is normal. And the nurse practitioner basically said, like, Dr. So-and-so is on vacation until this date. And so don't make any changes until like you've talked to someone. She's like, you can either call and schedule for when she's back, or you can schedule with someone else in the practice. And if you're feeling this, then yes, like, you might need to make a change, but don't do anything without talking to anyone. All perfectly reasonable. But then at the end of her message, she said, for anxiety, you can try, and it was like aromatherapy, exercise, and there was something else. And I just, like, I understand like what was probably the intention behind that, but there was a little bit of like, I just rolled my eyes a little bit to go, like, I'm so far beyond that being something that will help. Those kinds of things absolutely have a time and a place. There are people that will find that helpful depending on what their circumstances are. There's certainly times I've been like, yeah, let me just get outside, and let me move my body more, and that, that'll give me a little bit of a boost. I just want to be like, the way that I'm dealing with depression and anxiety right now, like, good smells and aromatherapy are just, that's not going to cut it. So I just rolled my eyes, and I called the office the next morning to make an appointment. They're like, oh, well, her next available. And they said like a month out. And I was like, okay, well, I'll take that as a backup, but can you also just tell me like what date she's going to be back? Cause I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to send another message when I know she's back and see if maybe she could like get me in sooner, or at least advise me like by message. But I just thought, I don't want to see someone else in the practice, cause I don't really trust someone else to guide me through making this decision. Like my primary care doctor or my psychiatrist, like those are the ones that I trust to navigate this with me, I guess. So, again, no shade to nurse practitioners. You guys are amazing. I have so much respect for all that you do, and all the hard work that you do, but this was not it for me. Not it for me, unfortunately. So there was that. And then I also was just sort of, I just sort of rolled my eyes and a little bit of like, I know that it's just coincidence, but also a little bit, it feels like when it rains, it pours. I, like a few days later, was checking I'm signed up for informed delivery, which is like a thing that the USPS offers, where you can basically set it up where you get email notifications of what mail you're going to be getting that day. And I had glanced at mine that day, and it was like notice of it was a jury duty notice, and had my name on it. And on my husband's side, I just thought, are you kidding me right now? Like, there's absolutely no way that I feel like I can handle that. It turns out it's not until end of September. And I've served on a jury before out here, and it was like a week plus jury. It was it was interesting. Like, I have lots of respect and everything for the purpose of why we have juries, and like it's your civic duty and all of that. But I just kind of felt like at this point in my life, I can't even imagine. I have no margin for that. I'm going to look into it. Like, I'm not looking to game the system or anything like that whatsoever, but I think there may be some accommodations for like parents of kids with special needs, or like primary caregivers, which is essentially I'm a stay-at-home mom. and whatnot. So I don't know. Still need to look into it, but I just thought really, really right now. But oh well, that's just how it goes sometimes. But I was gonna say, when I was kind of talking about mental health, all of a sudden, this was around a week ago, or between a week ago to 2 weeks ago, all of a sudden I started hearing a lot of people talking about this app called Finch. And the app has been around for a while, and I know some people who say that they've been using it for a long time, like years, or over a year, and it's basically like a self-care and mental health app. It's not a replacement for, medication and therapy, but I had heard so many good things about it, and there are some like social aspects to it. And I thought, let me go ahead and let me just take a look at this and see. And I feel like if you enjoy like Tamagotchi and Neopets, there's a part of you that might be really drawn to this too. But you basically have this little pet, this little character that you take care of, and the way that you kind of take care with it and like grow with it and whatnot is by accomplishing these different goals. And you can set your goals, and they can be anything. When you set up your profile initially, and no, I'm not like affiliated or a sponsor or anything. I'm using the free version of the app and everything right now, and I'm less than a week into it, so I'm still in that like novelty phase. We'll see how long it lasts, but when you set it up, it asks you some questions that you can elect not to answer if you would rather not, but just sort of about like where you're at, what some of your goals are, how are you feeling as far as like your mental health goes and stuff. And then it gives you some suggestions, but you can also just curate it to be what you want. I literally have some goals, like I get to check the box when I get out of bed and when I take my daily multivitamin, or like I have one that's like just go outside once. And I mean, you could scale it up to be, if you have like exercise goals or like to-do list related goals. I'm keeping it very, very simple right now because that's just what I need. But I love that I can check these boxes and earn these little rainbow stones that I can turn around and get like cute outfits or pets or like decor for where my little person, my little character, my little pet thing lives, and they grow, and it's cute. And there's a social aspect. There's like, it offers some different things, like different grounding exercises if you need it. You can add people to your friends list, and there's even you can push a button that when you're like, I need a hug, and it'll send out a little notification to all your friends saying that you've posted that, and they can just click something in their app where they can send you some encouragement. It's cute, you guys. Of course, it's not for everyone, and I am using it in a really simple way, but it's making me smile, and I like that I'm setting myself for just setting myself up for success. Like tonight, after I finish this WIP and Chat, when I'm winding down for bed, the last box that I'm going to get to check at the end of each day is like, I brushed my teeth. It's little things like that. Actually, I think I'm gonna need the bigger size. So you have to let me know if you've used the Finch app. Are you like a long-time user, or you're like, oh no, I'm gonna go check it out. I guess I have like a referral code. I don't like get anything from it. I think I get like an in-game mini pet or something if you use it or something, or just add me to your friends list. So I guess I'll link that below. But it's not like an affiliate thing. It's just like I might get like a new pet, like a new little pet for my pet. I don't know what it's called, or maybe nothing. I don't know. It's an easy way to find me on the app, I guess. So, yeah, so there's that. And I don't know. I should go check on my Neopets. Have you guys checked on your Neopets lately? I can't believe Neopets is still around. I follow them still on like Facebook, and they like will post about these really interesting like new things they're doing. I think they started branching into like the YouTube and creator space, and I thought, that's interesting, because at one point I was super, super, super into Neopets for a while. Like I went through a phase as a child, and then I like rediscovered it as an adult, and I was really, really, really into it. most of my Neopets were drakes, dragons, naturally. I should go check on them though. Although I'm sure that like all of the coating and stuff that I had used is probably like wildly broken at this point. I don't know, but I know Neopets, they can't die. They just, you'll go in and if you haven't checked in a long time, it'll just say like they're starving or something. Oh, that was a moment in time. But I also saw, I think Neopets was at Comic-Con this year, and I'm like, that would have just been wild. That would have been wild to like see a Neopets at Comic-Con. We're really covering the gamut of things today, aren't we? 9:63. How are we doing on time? Okay, great. What else has been going on? Little updates with like the kids in summer break. I guess I talked about this a lot already, but Connor has been doing really, really well with his swim lessons. We had a rough start, not going to lie, a rough start when we started swim lessons initially. We had gotten him a 10 lesson package, and the first few lessons were rough, and then just for a variety of reasons, like they kept having to like cancel or postpone lessons. It's my one complaint about the swim school that we're going through. Connor's instructor is amazing, but they are flaky as all get out. We have not had a single week where there hasn't been like oh, we need to bump this lesson because of this, or change this because of this. But the good news is it ended up working out a little bit in our favor when there was like a whole week that he had to like miss lessons because we ended up spending a ton of time in the pool, and he started getting very, very, very comfortable in the water. All of a sudden it was like a switch flipped, and then he was really excited to go back to his swim lessons, and all of a sudden like we took him back and he just like swam across the pool at swim lessons like it was nothing. And the instructor and I just looked at each other like, okay, well, we're not going to complain, but where did that come from? So he's super, super proud of himself. He's so excited, and he is like asking to go to the pool about every day, and Micah's loving it too. Micah, we'll probably try to do some lessons with Micah next year. He's relatively comfortable in the water, but like he can't swim, and it's not like we're ever leaving him unsupervised, but yeah, just really happy that Connors is doing well. Micah has been a ham, such a stinker. He has been so giggly, and he will giggle just about like the littlest, silliest things, and I'm living for it because it's the cutest thing ever. He's so mischievous. He's so silly. And he's really, really doing amazingly with his words, though. It's definitely, if you have, kids, or you sometimes will see funny tweets or whatever about, oh, I didn't realize this was a thing that I said that often, or a thing that I said at all, until all of a sudden my kids are repeating it back to me. We've been dealing with some, I think, what are probably stereotypical sibling squabbles. I mean, the kids are 9 and 6 years old, so yeah, seems about right. But one of the phases we're going through right now is Connor really wanting to help by parenting Micah and saying things to Micah that he knows like we've said to Micah. And Micah really doesn't take it well at all when Connor says it. He gets really upset. He doesn't take it well. And so at one point I had said to Connor, okay, Connor, who's the parent? Which again, also things that you hear yourself saying that you're like, oh man, my parents said this when I was growing up and I thought I'd never say this kind of thing, and yet here I am. So I had said that to Connor a couple of times, and then yesterday, when Connor went to go ahead and try to correct something Micah was doing, Micah got upset, and as Micah is upset, he goes, no, who's the parent, Connor? And Adam and I just looked at each other like, don't laugh. But we're both like, oh, well, so I guess that's that. So, yeah. So sibling squabbles, but it's just, I'm loving our summer together. I'm very ready. Quite honestly, I am ready for them to be going back to school, in large part because I feel like they'll both really thrive on having that structure again, and getting to spend more time with around friends again, and I think it'll be good for them. But I am also trying to, soak up summer, because this has been in spite of the stress and the other things we've had going on, I am really, really loving, you know, our days in the pool, our visits to Chuck E. Cheese. It's been fun. It's been fun, and I am trying to do my best to focus on the good and the things that I really do have to be grateful for. As far as what I've been reading and watching and listening to, my audiobook bug is back. I picked back up with the second book in the From Blood and Ash series, which I think is technically just called the Blood and Ash series. I cannot remember the name of the second book. The third book is it A Crown of Gilded Bones? And then the fourth book is The War of Two Queens. I'm in the middle of the fourth book right now. So when I lost my audiobook bug, I was in the middle of the second book, and I kind of just picked it back up. I finished the second book. I was excited to get right into the third book. The third book ended on a cliffhanger, and I went right into the fourth book. I will absolutely not put any spoilers here, just in case. It's the series is romantasy, so like romance and fantasy. It's a little heavier on the romance in, I feel like, especially the earlier books, but the past, like the third and fourth book, in my opinion, really get more into kind of like the lore and the world building, which has been really, really interesting to me. I don't remember how many books there are in this series, but I believe that there's like the main series, and then there's a prequel series that is not complete yet. The author is Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I don't know, it's just been a light, enjoyable read. It's fun to have a bit of my audiobook bug back. Everything it all seems to go in cycles. I'm into a thing until I'm tired of it. I move on to something else, but I just know eventually it'll circle back around. There's at least a few more books. Like when I look on Audible for books in this series, there's at least a few more after this fourth one, and I'm just gonna, keep following my nose through it. I do have some Audible credits I need to use up, and then I need to cancel my Audible subscription. The reason I haven't canceled it yet is because if you cancel it and you have unused credits, you lose those credits, which I think is kind of shady, to be honest with you. But I would really like to, I have like 5 I need to use up, and I can use a couple of them on the rest of this author's series. But if you have any recommendations, feel free to let me know. I have a couple that I sort of have in mind, like I don't know if the Holly Black books would be my jam or not, but like fantasy and like romantasy, that's kind of the genre that I'm enjoying at the moment. So if you have any recommendations, feel free to let me know. And I know you guys have given me some recommendations in the past, so if you would like to repeat yourself, that's completely fine, because it's quite possible that I didn't write it down or have a tab open on my phone for if you did recommend something to me in the past. But yeah, so that's my reading. Watching, not anything super exciting, but this is kind of adjacent. All of a sudden yesterday actually, Micah had decided he wanted to watch Wish on Disney Plus. I have not been able to pay enough attention to really get into it, but from what I had heard, this movie was really kind of meh. And it was funny because he started it and I was like, is he watching Moana? Because I feel like the voice actress for the main character of Wish, and Adam thought the same thing, so it's not just me. I'm like, this sounds a little bit like Moana. And Adam was like, yeah, her character's kind of a mashup of Moana and Mirabelle and even Rapunzel a little bit. And I was just like, huh, okay. But I don't know. I kind of want to try to sit down and watch it just so I can see and try to form my own opinion, but I don't know that I'd be able to watch it with a really neutral mindset, because I've just heard so many people either say that they think it's terrible, and at best I feel like people have just said it's just very bleh. The animation style was really throwing me. I was like, this is so weird. It's like they tried to the background, it's like they're trying to make it look hand drawn, but then the active parts look a little bit more modern. It's I don't know what they're going for here, but it doesn't, it's pick one or the other. It's not quite doing it for me. But I guess at D23 last week or 2 weeks ago, there's so many sequels that got announced. Frozen 3, I think we already knew was in the works, but I think now has an official release date. Moana 2, we saw a trailer for. What was the other one they announced? We know Toy Story 5 is coming. I don't even know. I don't know how I feel about all of these like sequels. I know that that's probably what's making Disney money, so that's why they're like really going heavily towards that. I mean, and frankly, as the mom of young kids who are probably gonna, like Micah, I bet is gonna be super excited for Toy Story 5. I'm still like, some of this original stuff is good stuff too, like Encanto and like Moana, even though those are a little bit older now. Like those are good. Like I want them to make good stuff like that. But I wonder if Wish just did so badly that they're like, well, let's go back to just doing sequels. I don't know. And as far as listening to, I have been really, really down the rabbit hole still of like video essays and like commentary type channels on YouTube. And treating them like podcasts. The other day I watched, and I feel like if you're on YouTube, like with any regularity outside of like the diamond painting world, I'm like, you're probably gonna be like, this is so old news, Katie. But I just finally watched like this 4-hour-long video by H Bomber Guy on like plagiarism on YouTube that has some like ridiculous number of views, like 20 or 30 million views at this point. But it was just fascinating. I'm finding this kind of thing so fascinating. I was talking to Adam about it the other day and just saying these are some of the most like well researched and like thought out kinds of videos out there, and I put them on and treat them like podcasts. So I've been hopping between so many different channels at this point I couldn't even tell you, but that's the one I was listening to yesterday, so it's what's fresh on my mind. But yeah, let me know if you've had anything fun and exciting you've been reading, watching, or listening to. This is gonna be perfect timing. This is like the second to last color and then I have the last color, and I'm about to wrap up this WIP and Chat. But as far as videos this week, I will actually, something doesn't go awry with shipping, I should have an on time, knock on wood, Diamond Art Club sneak peek this week, which has not happened in quite a while. So I'll have that. I have a couple of other unboxings that have kind of been waiting for a minute that I might want to try to get to. I'm really overdue for a small shop haul. Still, I've been mentioning it for weeks about potentially trying to do one, along with some happy mail I would like to get to. And I would like to do an update video where I check in and talk about my cross-stitch conversion project and sort of share what it's been like to finish up the 6 panel. I'm officially at the 75% mark on that project. I broke 300,000 drills placed on the whole project. The total that is going to be placed on the whole chart is like 402 something thousand. It's a lot. It's a lot. So really excited to be at that 75% mark. And would love to do a check-in on that. And I feel like I have some kits I could do post reviews on potentially too, but I guess the cross-stitch conversion is really what I've been mainly working on this past month, so maybe not so much. And then we're ramping up for drills and chills. There's a lot going on. So anyway, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, how about we do an emoji that has some kind of planets or space in it, because we've got the universe in a jar that we just finished kitting up. This is a really pretty set of colors. There's just the 3 ABs, and I feel like this, you could almost tell this is an older Diamond Art Club kit, because with the newer Randall Spangler kits, as in the Randall Spangler kits that released like after like late 2020 or after 2020 and on, you almost always see this light green, this lime green AB that you'll see then in the dragon scales of Randall Spangler kits. You see those all the time. This kit does not have that green AB. It has a pink AB, a light yellow AB, and a white AB. Anyway, this is really color spread though. I'm excited to get working on this and curious to see if the square drill quality, just what it's like, because there were some really poor quality square drills that would sometimes make their way around in older and like much, older kits. But looking at these in the packaging and in the containers, they look good. So fingers crossed. But let me know how you're doing. Let me know in the comments what you were working on while we chatted today. If you have anything fun you've been reading, watching, and listening to, if you've used the app Finch, and just, how you're doing mental health wise. I hope that you're taking care of yourself and being really kind to yourself. It's tough, and sometimes it's It's a big accomplishment just to get through the day. You don't have to accomplish anything huge on your to-do list or your goals list. It's like you just get through the day. I'm proud of you, and you did it. So be very, very kind and gentle to yourself today if you needed that reminder. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would really love to have you here, and I appreciate that you guys took some time to spend with me today catching up in this weekly WIP and Chat. I'll see you in the rest of my videos this week. I'll see you in next week's WIP and Chat as well, and I hope you have a day and a week that's as amazing as you are. I'll talk to you again soon, friends. Bye.